On day 5 of our cruise, we traveled south through the Inner Passage to visit Alaska's state capital, Juneau. Despite its relatively small population of just over 32,000, Juneau is the third largest city by area in the United States, covering 3,255 square miles. It's also unique among U.S. capitals in that there are no roads connecting Juneau to the rest of the state nor mainland North America, due to the extremely rugged terrain surrounding the city. As a result, people and goods can only come in and out of Juneau by plane or boat. Come along with us as we step ashore to see and experience all that Juneau has to offer its visitors in this episode of Travelhound. Our shore excursion into Juneau began with a visit to the Macaulay Salmon Hatchery. Salmon fishing has always been a part of Alaska's heritage. But when the salmon population began to shrink due to overfishing in the mid-20th century, the creation of hatcheries became a viable solution to preserve Alaska's billion-dollar industry. As life cycles go in nature, the salmon's is one of the most complex and awe-inspiring of them all. Starting out as small eggs in a shallow mountain stream, they hatch into alevins and soon begin their journey downstream towards the ocean. Their journey may take as long as 3 years, but by the time they've reached the mouths of the river, they've grown into smolts. Amazingly, at this point, salmon are able to leave their freshwater environment and adapt to the saline environment of the ocean, where they will live for the next 1 to 8 years. After swimming an estimated 2,000 miles throughout the northern Pacific Ocean, adult salmon then readapt to freshwater and begin their journey back to their natal streams where they were born. Their upstream journey is a challenging one, leaping over rocky waterfalls, avoiding fishermen, and staying clear of hungry bears. Once they've returned to the area where they were born, the females lay their eggs in a gravel nest that will then be fertilized by the males. The adult salmon will remain by their nest to protect the eggs for a few weeks until they die, completing their amazing circle of life. The mission of Alaskan hatcheries like the one we visited in Juneau is to ensure that circle of life continues. Here, fertilized eggs are collected from the returning adult salmon and placed into incubation trays. After the eggs hatch, the alevin will be kept in large tanks for around 5 months until they have grown into salmon fry. By spring, the fries are transported through flexible hoses into outdoor rearing pens, where they will spend an additional 9 to 12 months before finally being released. The time spent in the rearing pens allows the salmon to memorize the characteristics of their surroundings so that they will return to the same spot to lay their eggs once they become adults. And sure enough, as the salmon raised at this hatchery reach the end of their life, they return home, climbing this fish ladder where they will re-enter the facility and lay their eggs for the next generation of salmon. An added attraction inside the hatchery's visitor center is a 5,000-gallon saltwater aquarium that features over 150 different species of local marine life. Our next stop was Mendenhall Glacier. This 13-mile-long glacier is just one of many that connect to the vast Juneau ice field, a 1,500 square mile remnant from the last ice age, cradled in the mountains northwest of Juneau. To get an up-close look at the glacier, we took a 1-mile trail from the park's visitor center. The trail's terminus not only affords awe-inspiring views of the glacier, but also nearby Nugget Falls. Powered by meltwater runoff from the Nugget Glacier, this spectacular waterfall plunges 377 feet down the mountainside into Mendenhall Lake. Sadly, Mendenhall Glacier, along with other glaciers around the world, are melting at an alarming rate thanks to the global warming crisis. In this time-lapse video taken over a recent 10-year span, it's clear to see that, unless we all start taking this crisis seriously, amazing features like Mendenhall Glacier won't be around much longer. Our last stop was Gold Creek, where we would learn a little about Alaska's gold rush era and enjoy a good old-fashioned salmon bake. Legend has it that it was here that Juneau's namesake, Joe Juneau, first struck gold way back in 1880. As we walked through the lush rainforest alongside Gold Creek, we encountered some of the remnants from Juneau's colorful mining heritage. For those who are feeling lucky, you can even try your hand at panning for gold. Although he was allowed to keep anything glittery that he found, Prospector Andrew came up empty-handed during our visit. Then it was on to an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring, you guessed it, fresh salmon grilled to perfection over an alderwood fire. In addition to local favorites, this sumptuous smorgasbord also included a variety of entrees, sides, salads, and blueberry cake for dessert. And if you still had room left after the meal, you could grab a stick and roast a s'more over the campfire. When you're dining outdoors, surrounded by the beautiful Alaskan wilderness, it really doesn't get any better than this. After a full day of sightseeing and unique experiences, our ship shoved off from Juneau and began heading south towards our final port of call. Although it was hard to believe that we only had one day left on our Alaskan cruise, we were already looking forward to tomorrow's adventures. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it, and become a subscriber by clicking on the button in the lower right-hand corner so that you never miss out on Travelhound's upcoming adventures.